Hey there, my name is Anthony Romano, and in this video I'm going to tell you about the biggest keto myths in hopefully 5 minutes or less, so stay tuned. So the biggest keto myths. Now I'm going to run through these and try to give you as much information as possible in the shortest amount of time, just so you can understand the keto diet better. So the first one is that you need high fat to be in ketosis. Now this is completely wrong. You often end up eating higher fat when you're in ketosis, and this will deepen your level of ketosis. However, the more fat you eat is not going to deepen your ketosis. The only thing that will deepen your ketosis is cutting out carbs. You need to cut out carbs in order to be in a ketogenic state, and whether you're eating no food at all or whether you're eating just no carbs, you're going to be ketogenic. For people who eat 50 grams of carbs a day and they're just pushing that carb limit to the max and then eating pounds and pounds of fat, they're not really going to be in ketosis at all, because their body, just because it's consuming more fat doesn't mean it's going to deepen ketosis. It needs those lack of carbohydrates in the first place to even start considering if it's going to get into deeper ketosis with those extra fats. So that's the first one. The second one is that more ketones equals more fat loss. So it ties hand in hand with the first myth that if you do have more ketones, are you going to lose more fat? If you do eat more fat, are you going to lose more fat? The answer is technically no. So more ketones means that you'll feel better, you'll perform better, you'll probably have better focus in the day. Well, actually, you definitely will. And you'll overall have a much better experience of the diet. In order to do that, you would need higher amounts of fat in your diet, or you can do things strategically like incorporate more or longer intermittent fasts. But more ketones does not equal more fat loss. It simply means that you are getting into a deeper state of ketosis due to all the fat that you are eating. This higher level of ketones is not coming from stored body fat, it's coming from all the fat that you're eating. So you don't necessarily want to be overdoing the calories or fats, because calories still matter. They are a driver of fat loss, and you want to be in the ketogenic state. You shouldn't care about how deep it is except for performance reasons. So if you have a busy day or if you have a heavy workout planned. So besides that, you don't really want more ketones. You just want to be in ketosis, and from there eat at a level that satisfies you and makes you feel good. From there, the next one is that you don't have to count calories on a ketogenic diet. Now this is half true, because a lot of people, especially if they have more than 15% body fat, can get very, very far on a ketogenic diet without counting calories, or even instinctively counting calories. The idea is that by decreasing your insulin and blood sugar throughout the entirety of the day, your body's going to be turning off fat storage, because when you have high insulin, you're not able to burn fat. So by lowering those hormones, you will burn more fat, kind of regardless of your calorie intake. If you're eating copious amounts of foods, yeah, you're not going to be burning fat, even if you're eating fully ketogenic and no carbs at all. However, you do have a lot more leeway. Calories are a driver of fat loss. They are not the only driver of fat loss. However, they are a very effective one. And this is why so many people end up using it. However, your understanding of fat burn should be a lot more sophisticated than simply calories in, calories out. It's not a binary thing. Yes, if you're getting lower calories, you probably will lose weight. However, if all of your calories are coming from carbs, you're going to have a way crappier experience of the diet you're doing, and overall your focus and performance is going to be gradually declining, because carbs are your only energy source on a carb-based diet. So calories matter on a ketogenic diet after a point where you hit a plateau. That's the generalized version. If you have a strict deadline or a show, start counting calories from the beginning. But if you don't, and you're just a person who wants to lean down 20 pounds or something, you don't really need to force the calorie counting. You can literally do a ketogenic diet, some days throw in some low intensity cardio, some days throw in some fasting, and you'll get very far before you have to count calories. The second one after this is that it's technically the fourth one, but the fourth one is you can't do high intensity interval training. Now, this is absolutely incorrect. You totally can do high intensity interval training on a ketogenic diet. When you do keto for longer than a month, you reach a stage called fat adaptation. And basically at this point, your body starts storing extra carbohydrates from the food that you're eating, so extra protein and any green vegetables you're consuming, And basically, even if you're eating 0 carbs, no vegetables at all, the extra protein that you're eating, not your muscles, is going to turn into carb energy in your body and be stored within your muscles. So you can do very high intense lifts and exercises. So you can totally do high intensity interval training, because after you're fat adapted, which yes, you do have to put up with the first month of getting adapted, and most of the studies are done on non-fat adapted individuals, which gives the keto diet a bad name for performance. Overall, you can still do high intensity interval training. Your body will have carb energy and fat energy, and it's basically going to use fat for 90% of the activities you do and carb energy for the remaining 10 of the most intense lifts you're doing. So you have the best of both worlds, and they call this metabolic flexibility. It's ridiculously smooth, and you feel so sharp when you're doing sports, and you can totally do high intensity interval training. However, as far as fat burn concerns you, low intensity cardio will be more effective. So that's probably why a lot of people believe you can't do HIIT. And the last one is that keto is bad or unnatural for your body. And basically, this is also completely false, because your body wouldn't have this mechanism if it wasn't natural. Keto is a preservation state. It is not a starvation state or starvation mode. Basically, it's how your body would run if it was an optimal machine in nature, and it is, because your body is always trying to optimize everything and keep everything in balance. And even when you understand that fat adaptation that I just explained, think about how optimized it is that you, when you're adapted, which only takes a month, and people would presumably be eating vegetables and meats in evolutionary times, think about how useful it would be if your body could use carbs and fats at all times. This is literally such an effective way to go about performance and hunting and surviving. Your body's a survival machine, and the reason we store fat is so that your body can use it for energy. So it is completely natural. I have a video on this as well that explains a lot more of the evolutionary context, but overall, you don't have to worry about this being unhealthy. You're actually able to get a lot more vitamins and nutrients in your diet, because fat, which is the bulk of what you're eating, is known for storing nutrients, and it's basically where most of the human body is made up of, and that is why we, in general, should be consuming higher amounts of fat, because it tends to hold most of the vitamins in nature. Overall, I hope this video was beneficial to you and gave you some insight onto the biggest keto myths and hopefully change some of your false beliefs about keto. Thank you for watching. My name is Anthony Romano. Leave me a question. I'll get back to you. I get back to everybody. And subscribe to my page and click the little notification bell. Thanks. Peace.